Hey everybody, so today I'm going to show you another video for my holiday series, and these are my Au Gratin potatoes. This is how they look when they come out. I'm going to show you step by step what you need to do, what you need to have. They're very, very easy to make, okay? I used about 8 medium-sized golden potatoes. I rinsed them before I started slicing them. And you can use a mandolin, or you make sure you use a really sharp knife. Okay. So here I am. I'm slicing them on this mandolin. I got this from Amazon for like $20, if it was even that. But this is how thin you want them to be. You don't want them super thin to where they're limp, but you want them thin enough so that they'll cook. And make sure you rinse your potatoes afterwards, because I see a lot of people saying you don't need to rinse them. This is what the potatoes look like after I rinse them. The second time, even after I cut them, this is what they look like, okay? This is what the water looked like. Make sure you rinse your potatoes. And this is the residue that was, make sure you rinse the potatoes. Don't listen to people who tell you don't have to rinse them. Excuse me. Okay, so you're going to take your casserole dish and you're going to butter it. This would also fit in one of those half aluminum pans. Yes, you can use that. And if you ain't trying to wash dishes, honey, you do what you do, okay? This recipe can be doubled, halved, whatever. So now I'm just going to start caramelizing some onion and some butter. I got about 1/4 of a large onion and a couple of cloves of garlic that I'm going to put in here. And I'm just going to caramelize this onion down. Okay, it's going to go, and this part is going to take a while, so while you're getting other stuff prepared and ready, get that done, okay? You're just going to mix this around. You're not going to caramelize them till they're totally brown. You're just going to start the caramelization process to get that flavor, okay? Because this is going to go inside your roux. All right, and I'm adding some salt and pepper. You want to season at every stage. Layer the seasoning. You don't want to try to just season all at one time. Okay, so my onions are about where I want them to be. I don't want them totally caramelized, but I do want them to start the caramelization process and develop that flavor, because these onions are pretty sweet as it is, but you just want to get that flavor in there. So just gonna go and let that go. And if y'all hear music in the background, I apologize. It's my neighbors. They got the music up high. All right, so here we are. Here are the onions. They're about done. They're about where I want them to be. I'm going to take them and set them aside. Okay, so I can make my roux. All right, so I'm about to make my roux. Equal parts flour and butter. 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of flour. No matter how much you make, it needs to be equal parts of each. And then I'm going to add about 3 cups of heavy cream. Just make sure you cook that raw flour out of that roux. If your roux looks crumbly, you don't have enough butter in there, or you have too much flour. The balance is off. If your roux looks crumbly. If your roux doesn't cook down like this, if it's crumbly, you need to add a little bit more butter. Okay? So here we are. I'm adding my heavy cream. I'm going to add about 3 cups of heavy cream. And I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let it simmer. And I'm just taking every little drop of that heavy cream out of there. Okay, so I'm letting the heavy cream simmer. And I'm using a whisk. It's really important at this stage to use a whisk, because you want to make sure that you got all that the flour dissolved in there. So now I'm going to add some salt and pepper. You can add a little bit of nutmeg. Something about nutmeg in your bechamel sauce that it Not a lot, just a little bit. Not even a quarter of a teaspoon, just maybe a pinch, just a little bit. And that's just garlic powder I added. And you just want to season at every layer, like I said before, because you don't want to put all this work into this dish and it be bland. That's not what you want. Okay? So taste it, see what it tastes like. If you need some more seasoning, add some more seasoning. It's up to you. And this is what the roux is. All this is at this point is butter, flour, and heavy cream, and then the seasonings. And that's pretty much your standard bechamel sauce. You can make any type of cheese sauce with this, for cheese, fries, nachos, macaroni and cheese, anything you want. This is the sauce. This is how it starts out. This is how my mac and cheese starts out. Okay. And so now I'm going to add my cheese. I'm using cheddar and some Gruyere and a little bit of Parmesan. Now, typically it would be more like Emmentaler or Gruyere, but my kids aren't huge fans of Gruyere, so I added a little cheddar and Parmesan in there to kind of balance it out. But you use whatever kind of cheese you want. It's your potatoes au gratin, honey. You use whatever you want to use. The cheese police is not going to come and arrest you for not using Gruyere. They will not. Okay? So you see the cheese sauce is already developing. It already looks like a cheese sauce. You can eat that with some cheese, with some fries right now. It would be so good. Okay, so now I'm laying my potatoes out and I'm drying them. That's another thing. A lot of people don't dry their potatoes. I dry mine because I don't want all that water in my dish. The water has to go somewhere. So if you're piling wet potatoes in your casserole, you're watering down your recipe. You don't want to do that, okay? I just lay it on some paper towel, and then I put another sheet of paper towel on top, and I just press down and let it dry. And then I just start layering it in my casserole. Okay. So you just dry them as well as you can. They don't have to be, you just want to get all the excess water off, pretty much. Okay, so here they are. All right, so there's my casserole dish. So now I'm going to layer the potatoes in the casserole dish, salt and pepper them. Each layer you're going to salt and pepper. All right, so I'm layering my potatoes in there. They don't have to be in there in any particular order on this layer, in the middle layer. Just as long as, you're able to season them, you're good to go. My kids love this. This is an alternative if you don't want to do mashed potatoes. This also stretches further than mashed potatoes. I only use about 8 medium potatoes. And this filled up that casserole dish, and it was plenty. Okay. You get a whole 5-pound bag, you easily can feed 12 people on that. Okay, so I added my onion into my roux, and now you just season the potatoes. Like I said, I didn't do this here. I forgot. I was all over the place, but you do that. So you're gonna add your roux on there. You're just gonna layer it and make sure the layer potatoes are covered with your roux. And then you're gonna have all those onions and garlic in there, and it's gonna be good. Trust me. I don't buy the box ones anymore because my kids don't like a lot of prepackaged stuff. They just don't. I guess I spoiled them from when they were younger, and now they just look at it. They won't eat box mashed potatoes, and they won't eat the box scallop potatoes either. So now for the final layer, I arranged the potatoes a little bit better. I arranged them so they look a little neater. That's just me. You do not have to do this. That's just what I do. Y'all ain't got to do all that. As you can see, it does take some time to arrange the potatoes. It's totally up to you. You're going to cover it in cheese anyway, so. But that's just me, y'all. Okay? So I'm shingling the potatoes. And you want them to sort of lay down so that when you cover them with cheese, it's easier to cover them with cheese so you don't have potatoes sticking out from under the cheese. So just try to at least get them somewhat flat. And you see that one potato is not cooperating. And I do apologize again if y'all can hear my neighbor's music. It is so loud. Alright, see here I seasoned salt and pepper and I got them flat enough so that I can cover with the cheese sauce and then another layer of cheese. So I'm just scraping my pot with my rubber spatula to get all that roux out of there. I want every little drop of roux out of there. Not roux, my cheese sauce, Lord. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure the potatoes are covered. You want to make sure your entire layer is covered with the cheese sauce. And then you're going to still add a little bit of cheese on the top anyway. Okay. So yeah, you're just going to use a rubber spatula if you have one. You know, I try to keep these recipes as simple as possible. Like some of these recipes, I use different types of cheese that may not be available everywhere. I do know that. So that's why I try to keep it simple because, you know, not every area sells the same stuff. I know a lot of stuff that I used to get in Florida, I can't get here unless I order it. So as you can see now, I'm layering. I'm just putting a little bit of cheese on top. Just so that, you know, I can cover the top with, you know, with the cheese so the top layer is covered. And you just want to make sure it's totally covered. And then I took the pan, I put the shiny side of the foil inside the, okay. And as you can see, I set this on a cookie sheet or a sheet pan so that if it boiled over, it'll be protected. The oven will be protected. So here it is, y'all. It is done. These cooked on 400 for about an hour and a half. But don't go by my oven. Go by your oven. I cooked it for about 40 minutes covered, and then I uncovered it and let it go for another 30 minutes or so maybe. But that's up to you. I just wanted it to brown. And you gotta let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes so that the cheese can settle, so that it's not running. And there you go. There it is. In all its glory. Alright, y'all. That is it. That's another recipe for the holidays. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And I'll see y'all next time.